Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Tonight we're learning more about a deadly crash here in Perry County. It happened early this afternoon off Upper Second Creek. One person died. Right now, information on exactly what happened remains limited. WYMT's Connor James talked to people in the community who say this is tough to process.
We've actually moved downhill from that crash. The family asked us nicely if we could not film that much up there, so that's where we are right now. We are told by a lot of people that this area is a very close-knit community. Many people here are related to each other, and this is something that they really never thought would happen so close to home. Here's what we know as of right now. Police responded to the crash at roughly 3 o'clock this afternoon. One person died in that crash. Again, this all happening off of Upper Second Creek, an area where many people are related and call each other family.
Well, it hurts all of us because it's family. It's hit real close to home.
Now, as of right now, the exact cause of what happened has not been released to us quite yet, but we're hoping to get that information soon. And when we do, we'll put that up on our website, WYMT.com. I'm in Perry County. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, if you're driving through that area, you should slow down because crews had the road blocked off at last check and we're still investigating. Today, we learned the name of a man hit and killed in Floyd County. Yesterday evening, a car hit Eric Ray Terry. Investigators tell us it happened on Route 80 near the Garrett exit. So far, they have not released much about the crash. State police are handling the investigation. We do know Terry's body was sent to Frankfort for an autopsy. He was 34 years old. Today, jury selection started in this man's murder trial. James McIntosh is accused of shooting Danny Mullins multiple times last year. Despite the shooting happening in Perry County, the trial was moved to Knott County following a request for a change of venue. Now, we understand a jury was seated and witness testimony will begin tomorrow. It's unclear how long the trial will last. Police may be closing in on their suspects. Monday night, the Ultra Shine car wash in Laurel County was burglarized. Deputies say a group of 3 cut hose nozzles. However, Facebook and high-quality photos have police close to making arrests. WYMT's Will Puckett has more.
Police in Laurel County say these nozzles are not cheap.
Oh, it was pretty substantial because those hose nozzles are in the neighborhood of $100 each.
They are replaced now, but Monday, deputies say a group of 3 seen in these surveillance photos cut them loose.
Very occasionally, we will work something like this at these self-help car washes, but it's very rare.
While this isn't out of the ordinary crime, the owner of the business was critical in helping police.
The fact that his video surveillance aided in us identifying suspects and recovering property.
It is these video cameras and the help of one extremely popular website that have police on the verge of making arrests.
Facebook is a godsend for us.
Now the owner of Ultra Shine and the Laurel County Sheriff's Office have one message to those thinking about pulling the same stunt.
As camera prices are coming down, more people are getting video surveillance and still frame surveillance for their businesses, even their home residences. And they're high resolution pictures, and once we put it out there, we're going to catch somebody.
And catching these 3 could be a good example. In Laurel County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Chardo says people in Laurel County played a major role in learning the suspects' identities. And again, no arrests have been made yet, but deputies say they are close. The state has suspended mine licenses at coal operations in Perry and Pike counties. The Kentucky Division of Mine Safety says some American Resources Corporation employees still have not been paid. Some of those miners in Pike County blocked a train last week in protest. A Lexington Herald Leader review of court records found that ARC has faced several legal battles over its alleged failure to make good on lease payments and left a mine in Perry County at risk of flooding after it laid off nearly its entire workforce and failed to pay the mine's power bill. We received a statement from ARC yesterday saying the recent dismissal of one lawsuit will mean the company can move forward with expanding operations and re-employing personnel. A third earthquake has hit southern Kentucky in the past few days. A 2.4 magnitude quake happened around 4:46 yesterday afternoon. That one was centered about 2 miles northeast of Fincastle, Tennessee, and likely was not felt. Now, that is very close to the epicenter of a 3.8 magnitude quake that certainly shook parts of southern Kentucky and northern Tennessee on Monday. The first quake in this series of tremors was on Sunday. That one measured a 2.8.
And we started out the day with some sunshine and those cooler temperatures for sure, but now we're seeing those clouds increasing as we head into tonight. You can see that here on a few of our cameras. Interstate 64 over into Moorhead. You can see we saw those blue skies a little bit earlier. Now we're seeing those thick clouds now moving back into the mountains. Looking over into Whitesburg as that sun is starting to set, still dealing with some clouds over there. And now that sun's setting, it's going to get pretty chilly as we head out there. But satellite and radar shows just those clouds increasing, and you guys know what happens when the clouds increase. Yes, rain chances are on the way, but not until a little bit later for tomorrow. So as we head throughout the night tonight, clouds once again continuing to increase, and then we're going to see those temperatures dropping. It's going to be another chilly night, but a warmer night compared to last night. We'll be dropping into about those mid-20s. But like I said, rain chances return by the time we get to this time tomorrow. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right. Thank you very much, Paige. New requirements for identification to travel by air, visit a military base, or to be admitted to a federal building take effect in just more than 8 months. Most adults will need a real ID if you don't already have a passport, but getting one has been tricky. Today, the governor and Transportation Cabinet Secretary said plans are being put in place to make all of that easier. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what they had to say.
Flying, even domestically, after October 1st or visiting a military base or other federal building will require you to have one of these, a real ID. Significant. Kentucky officials admit that it's been a headache, but they say changes are on the way to make it easier. Offices in Frankfort or Bowling Green have been the only two options, but as of Wednesday, offices are now open in Somerset and Bowling Green. And Governor Beshear says more will soon be added. And they have appointed an official in Sarah Jackson to make the transition smoother.
Kentuckians are urged to start looking at the documents they need. We don't want any unnecessary travel or visits to offices. It's crushing when someone has driven 10 miles or 1 mile or, arranged for a babysitter at home just so that they could go and make application, and they get there and they don't have the correct documents.
And officials say they are not going to restrict anyone from coming to the office here in Frankfort to get your real ID. They say that regardless of where you live, you can come here to the capital city to get yours. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Governor Beshear says they are currently looking at unused or underutilized state office space to help with administering the real IDs. Sales taxes will not be going up in Kentucky. Proposed legislation would have increased it to 8% from the current 6%. Records indicate that bill was withdrawn last night. It'll be at least another 2 months before Jerry Lundergan is sentenced. A jury convicted the father of former Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes of 10 campaign finance charges in September. It stems from Allison Lundergan Grimes' failed Senate run against Mitch McConnell back in 2014. Jerry Lundergan and political consultant Dale Emmons were supposed to be sentenced today. It's now been moved to March 25th. The case against a woman accused of murder continues. Kentucky State Police say Melissa Wolke attacked her friend Donald Abner. He was found dead in her backyard lying next to her pit bull. Police say she used the dog to assist in the attack. Chelsea Jones has more from today's preliminary hearing.
Melissa Wolke is accused of murdering Donald Abner with the help of her dog. The attack happened last week outside her home in Conway. Today in court, Kentucky State Police detectives say a neighbor reported the incident. The neighbor said he heard what sounded like a party throughout the night, but hours later heard noises again. When he looked outside, he said he saw Wolke assaulting Abner and saying, quote, "Good boy, get him," to her pit bull. The neighbor also claimed hearing Abner call for help, but said he was too afraid to intervene because of of the dog. Investigators say the neighbor recorded the attack on his phone, but later deleted it.
The caller stated to the detective that he deleted it because it made him sick to watch it.
According to detectives, when investigators searched Wolke's home, they found no signs of struggle, only an empty alcohol bottle. A detective said he had to wait several hours to question Wolke following her arrest because she was intoxicated. When he finally spoke to her, he said she became distraught.
She would say, "Oh my gosh, I went redneck, didn't I? Did I go redneck?"
Then claimed she did not remember the attack. However, she told the detective she had a bad history with drinking and that her pit bull was a former fighting dog. Wolke said she and Abner had been friends for over 20 years and that he was staying with her at the time. Abner's autopsy revealed he died from asphyxiation. The coroner says Abner had a broken neck, but the injury was not consistent with dog bites. Wolke's attorneys questioned whether she would face an intentional or wanton murder charge, but prosecutors and the judge explained there was probable cause for both. In Rockcastle County, Chelsea Jones.
Melissa Wolke's attorney asked that her bond be lowered from $500,000. However, no changes were made. Wolke will return to court in March for previous misdemeanor charges. State police believe they caught a Sunday evening robbery suspect in Lawrence County. Troopers were called to the Case Mart when a panic alarm went off. Investigators reviewed the security video. They say that video showed Donald Adams walking in with gloves on and a mask. He then went to the cashier with a gun under his jacket and demanded cash. Troopers say they found Adams at a home just a few hundred feet from the store. Many people in Elkhorn City spent the day talking about J.R. Frazier, a local man who died last night. J.R. is remembered as a giving, loving person who dedicated a lot of time to his community. From athletic events to church duties, those who knew him say J.R. was determined to help every person he encountered, and the city will not be the same without him.
Just today, it felt different because he would always stop by here every day. He would always check on us, and he was just always just coming in and hanging out with us, and it's just different. It's just not the same without him, so we'll really miss him.
Services for JR will be handled by Bailey Funeral Home in Elkhorn City.
And we'll get slightly warmer temperatures as we head into the next few days. That usually means another system's on the way. It'll bring us another cool down. By the time we get into the weekend, I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
But first, on the horizon in Letcher County, possibly a new airport. What community leaders say led to the vision.